Hey, what up, though? Peace, world. Peace, boxing fans. This is probably going up at the Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. Consider becoming a subscriber. Struggle with that word a little bit. Hit that like button. That's very important, more so than you even know. If you rocking with what I'm talking about. I know some people dip out after 90 seconds and that's cool. But if you do happen to stick around, please always be sure to hit that like button. It's some stuff going on that you might not even know about, but it's important. I just finished up watching the Otha Jones, the third fight against Matthias Arriagada over on the DAZN app. They fought at the Dunkin' Donut Center in Rhode Island as part of the Demetrius Andrade and Maciej Sulecki on the undercard. I think that was just my man's third professional fight, no more than his fourth. But he got a 6-round decision, unanimous, didn't lose a round on all 3 cards. Good win, solid action. The kid just fought, you have to take into consideration, the kid just fought at York Hall over in London last week. He seems to be, a kid that Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing USA. Matchroom Boxing, the managing director, I believe, is his official role or title. But seems to be, a kid, a prospect that he's fond of. And this just demonstrates, that he's a hard worker. He's serious. He's hungry. Salute to the Soul City Boxing Gym up in Toledo, Ohio. Definitely, we saw some things, some warts. Some warts here. Some things that he needs to work on and continue to work on, continue to improve. It seems like he was going for the knockout, headhunting a little bit. He did mix in some body punching, some body work, but I think he got a first-round knockout last week against Horabazin. I'm sorry. Over in England, but to come home, I reached out to the kid and was trying to holler at him. But I see now why he was busy. I saw him at the press conference Wednesday and was like, what the hell? And was like, why would they be talking to him? And then after that, I realized that he was fighting. That he actually was fighting this weekend. So I'm like, damn, the brother is really grinding and really hustling. And it is what it is. I think for personally, I mentioned this on the Instagram video. At Bite Down Boxing, keep it simple. You go out here looking to slug, brawl, knock guys out. Do you get into relying on your skill? Do you get to using your defensive, what you're learning, and what will be your defensive approach moving forward? Some of these different guys getting through these first 5 to 8 to 10 fights, what are you trying to do? And it just seemed like he was trying to get the knockout, mix it up and just brawl. Didn't seem like a whole lot of strategy to it. You got a guy in there that's not as talented as you, probably doesn't have as an extensive amateur background as you do. And you're just brawling it and looking to get a guy out of there. And he ran into a guy, although he's a truck driver, that's what they mentioned that he was. I think he was Brazilian or Argentine, one of those. But the guy was he could take a punch. And then it just seemed like a lot of the punches versus being set up with stuff and not being seen and being camouflaged. That wasn't happening here. And it just seemed like, when you're hitting a guy and he can roll with shots or take shots or brace himself for shots or slip shots, you're not going to get the result of a knockout. And a lot of this stuff right here was just kind of wasn't happening with like boxing. You know, not a whole lot of jabbing going on. He was trying to shoot the uppercut. There was some body work mixed in. But mainly it was it looked like who the hell is the toughest of the two. And again, I'm not trying to criticize the kid. You know, get the victories, get the wins, learn what you can, learn some grit. Develop some grit. You know, impose your will. You know, it's boxing, man. It's not always going to be boxing. Sometimes it's going to be fighting. Sometimes it's going to be brawling. You're going to encounter a number of different types of opponents and fighters and whatnot. And the key thing is to land one more punch or enough punches more than the other, than your opponent to get the victory. So like I said, he won it 60-54 on all three cards. He fought last week. You come home, you get a victory. And one thing that I mentioned on the Instagram live at Bite Down Boxing was just depending on these state athletic commissions and what kind of opponents they allow you to have. You're fighting on these bigger cards, these bigger promotions. It's not like being at home working with the local promoter and possibly fighting some bums. I'm an hour north of Cincinnati. I've been down there for the last 2.5 years watching fights. It's a cat that they bring in, and if it's a gym that has multiple fighters all around the same weight division, it's a cat that's like 14 and 60. And each of those guys over, 3 or 4 promotions, each of those fighters will get a fight against that guy. And he's there to get knocked out. He's not there to get any rounds. He's not there to teach the kid, to let the kid learn, to help the kid improve. None of that stuff. I mean, he's there just to get knocked out. And depending on what state athletic commission you're working with, you might not be able to match your prospects up against any and everybody that you would like to throw in there just to get the kid some confidence or get him an easy knockout, pad his record. That doesn't always happen. So like I said, I salute Soul City Boxing, Otha Jones Sr., Roshan Jones. I salute those guys and doing what they're doing. And they're working with their fighter, their brother, their son, getting him ready. And this is all part of that first 8 to 12 first fights. And Matias Arriagada, he came to bang. And he went the distance. He lost 60-54. He did land some left hands. He landed a couple of right hands. And it is what it is. But like I said, I like what I'm seeing from the team. I like the audacious aspect of them as a team, and getting up here and trying to force the issue and get the experience, get that in-ring experience, get the record going. I mean, the kid fought an 8-rounder in his debut against a hell of a fighter. So I like what they're trying to do and being innovative in their own right. And I think right there, just 10 pounds or what? Hell, just 5 pounds south of Devin Haney, who's also on DAZN with his father, Bill Haney. And these kids with these great amateur pedigree. Why is my wife watering the grass? I'm pulling up to the house right now. Watering the grass that I got up and cut this morning. See, she doing that bull. But anyway, trying to keep up with the Joneses in the neighborhood. But anyway, pretty good fight, man. A good showing at a pretty big fight, with it being on the Andrade and Selecki undercard. Again, you didn't get the stoppage, you didn't get the knockout, but again, when you're just slugging and headhunting, and you're not getting into your boxing, you're not really being slick, you're just looking to pound and be violent and do something explosive, that's not going to work with everybody. And maybe it's something that the team goes back and talks about, and you can win a wide decision a number of different ways, and whatever. It's 3-0, I believe. Maybe they're 4-0 now. I think it's 3-0. And you see what's the next assignment. You come back and get the next assignment and go from there. I mean, that's a hell of a way to go to turn around, time differences, different country, different continent, come back home, get right back in the gym, and you staying on weight, learning how to be a pro, figuring out how to be a pro. I will say, watching the kid, that's a 6-rounder. He's not running out he's not gassing out. He's fighting consistently for all 3 minutes of every round. A lot of positives. It's just gonna be, you just move on. Like I said, you move on to the next assignment. You keep your undefeated record, and we'll see what's next for them. I wonder if he'll be a part of the Ramirez and the Mo Hooker and Ramirez card down in Dallas, Texas. See if that's something that they're involved with. So hey, shout out to Soul City, Ohio boxing, Toledo boxing, Midwest boxing, the whole shooting match. Let me get on out of here. Like I always say, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. One.